The year is 1947 and the new Democratic Republic of India is born. It is a nation struggling to feed its population, vulnerable to famine, malnutrition and social unrest. India is heavily dependent on other countries for its food security. The country faces additional charges such as accommodating a large refugee population and dealing with a lack of foreign exchange reserves. Well, after the partition of India in 1947, the best wheat-growing regions were now in Pakistan. This was a significant setback for India, which was already grappling with a food crisis. The Punjab region, now part of Pakistan, was crucial for wheat production, contributing about 60% of India's wheat before partition. India also lost a substantial amount of irrigated land to Pakistan, making it challenging to increase wheat production. Consequently, India faced dire consequences. People were willing to work just for food, highlighting the severity of the situation. The rural areas where job opportunities were scarce and agriculture was a major source of livelihood were particularly affected. In 1947, India had to import 1 million tons of wheat from the United States, marking the first wheat import after independence. This import was made possible through the Emergency Food Aid Act of 1947, passed by the US Congress to address the global food shortage following the World War II. Well, despite these challenges, India managed to avoid a famine in the years following 1947. In this challenging environment, M.S. Swaminathan chose to pursue agriculture over police services, for which he had qualified in the late 1940s. His deep interest in agricultural science, combined with his father's involvement in the freedom movement, inspired him to pursue higher studies in the field of agriculture. Indeed, challenges serve as the crucible in which legends are born and tempered. They offer the opportunity for individuals to showcase their mettle, rise above adversity, and make a lasting impact on the world, inspiring generations to come. Challenges inspire others and instill the belief that they can achieve anything they set their minds to. It's a story of the making of the very foundation of this great nation. Swaminathan first recognized the potential value of the Mexican wheat dwarfs in the late 1950s. Had this not occurred, there would not have been a green revolution in Asia. The Green Revolution, which began in the 1960s, led to a significant increase in fruit production in India. As a result, India became self-sufficient in food production in the 1970s and is now one of the world's largest exporters of wheat. Interestingly, this master strategist behind the Green Revolution wasn't ignorant of the adverse side effects of the Green Revolution. As early as January 1968, addressing the Indian Science Congress at Varanasi, M.S. Swaminathan spoke of the dangers of the rapid replacement of diverse, locally adapted crop varieties with just a few high-yielding strains over extensive areas. The intensification of cultivation without adequate conservation of soil fertility, a practice that could eventually lead to the formation of deserts. The indiscriminate use of pesticides, fungicides, and herbicides in agricultural practices. The unscientific extraction of groundwater, emphasizing the need for sustainable groundwater management. Well, in his address, Dr. Swaminathan set the stage for his vision of transforming the Green Revolution into an evergreen revolution, a sustained improvement of productivity without causing ecological harm. In 1989, the Planning Commission published a report called Agroclimatic Regional Planning in India. This report divided India into 24 agroclimatic zones based on factors such as climate, soil, and topography. However, the second Green Revolution is still in its early stages and the farmers are in deep distress. Faced with the challenges of high input cost, small fields, expensive technology, poor market remuneration, erratic monsoons, lack of irrigation facilities, soil degradation, and climate change. They await Swaminathan 2.0. Let's discuss it all here. Dear viewers, I'm Lipakshi Khurana from StudyIQ IAS, and you are about to embark on a journey of learning like no other. So sit back, grab a pen and paper, and get ready to be inspired. Born in Kumbakonam on August 7, 1925 to M.K. Sabasivan, a surgeon, and Parvati Thangamal Swaminathan had his schooling there. His keen interest in agricultural science led to 2 undergraduate degrees, including one from the Agricultural College, Coimbatore. And upon obtaining a postgraduate degree in cytogenetics in 1949 from the Indian Agricultural Research Institute, IARI, in New Delhi, he pursued a Doctor of Philosophy degree at Cambridge. It was during this time that he met his wife, who was also pursuing higher studies at Cambridge. He conducted his postdoctoral research at the University of Wisconsin. In 1954, Dr. Swaminathan joined the Central Rice Research Institute, CRRI, Cuttack, and later IARI. In July 1966, he became IARI Director, a position he held until 1972. It was during this stint in his long career that he gained fame. Dr. Swaminathan, a recipient of the Padma Shri in 1967, was chosen for the Raymond Magsaysay Award for Community Leadership in 1971. He was also awarded the Padma Bhushan in January 1972. He became Director General of the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, ICAR, and in 1979 was appointed as the Principal Secretary, Union Ministry of Agriculture and Irrigation. Well, in 1980, he was appointed Member, Agriculture, Rural Development, Science and Education, Union Planning Commission, and for a few months, he served as the Deputy Chairman of the body. Between 1982 and 1988, he headed the International Rice Research Institute, IRRI, in Philippines. In 1987, he became the first to receive the World Food Prize and the first foreigner to be honored with the Golden Heart Presidential Award of the Philippines. Well, 2 years later, he was conferred with Padma Vibhushan. In 1988, the veteran agricultural scientist established a not-for-profit trust, MSSRF, with the proceeds he received from the food prize. The foundation, which began functioning in Chennai since 1989, aims to accelerate the use of modern science and technology for agricultural and rural development to improve the lives and livelihoods of communities. In November 2004, the Union government appointed Dr. Swaminathan as the chairman of the National Commission on Farmers. Popularly known as the Swaminathan Commission, the panel's main recommendation to the centre was that the minimum support price should be at least 50% more than the weighted average cost of production. Dr. Swaminathan was a nominated member of the Rajya Sabha from 2007 to 2013. Well, the first World Agriculture Prize instituted by the Indian Council of Food and Agriculture was bestowed upon him in October 2018. So what obstacles did Swaminathan face while spearheading India's Green Revolution? MS Swaminathan faced a number of challenges in ushering in the Green Revolution in India. First, lack of political support and administrative support. Garnering sufficient support from policymakers and administrative bodies to implement policy changes and provide necessary resources was crucial for the success of the Green Revolution. The Indian government was not initially supportive of the Green Revolution. Some government officials were concerned that the Green Revolution would benefit only wealthy farmers and would lead to increased inequality. Second, resistance to change and traditional farming practices. While farmers were initially resistant to adopting new high-yielding crop varieties and modern agricultural techniques due to their attachment to traditional farming practices. They were concerned that the new technologies were too expensive and they would not be able to produce enough food to repay their loans. Thirdly, limited awareness and education. Educating and training farmers on the proper use of modern agricultural practices and technologies was essential to drive the adoption of these advancements effectively. many farmers had limited awareness and understanding of the potential benefits of the green revolution technologies, making it challenging to persuade them to change their methods. Fourthly, cost and affordability. The cost of adopting modern agricultural technologies and purchasing high-yielding seeds and fertilizers was a barrier for small and marginal farmers who struggled to afford these inputs. Fifthly, shortage of resources. India did not have enough resources to support the green revolution. The country was facing a shortage of fertilizer, pesticides, and irrigation facilities. Sixthly, access to credit and finance. Limited access to credit and financial resources impeded farmers' ability to invest in new technologies and modernize their farming practices. Seventhly, seed distribution and availability. Ensuring the widespread availability and timely distribution of high-yielding seeds to farmers across different regions posed logistical challenges. Eighthly, unfavorable weather conditions. Well, India's climate is unpredictable and droughts and floods are common. So with limited weather forecasting reach, it was very difficult to convince farmers as unfavorable weather conditions could damage crops and reduce the yields. Ninthly, pests and diseases. India's crops are vulnerable to a variety of tropical pests and diseases. These pests and diseases could reduce the yields and make it difficult for farmers to make a profit. So how did Swaminathan overcome the challenges he encountered in spearheading the Green Revolution in India? Well, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan employed a multifaceted and strategic approach to overcome the challenges encountered in ushering the Green Revolution in India. His efforts were characterized by innovation, collaboration, policy advocacy, and a deep understanding of the needs and circumstances of Indian farmers. Here's how he navigated and surmounted the challenges. 1. He worked closely with farmers and government officials. Swaminathan understood that the Green Revolution could not be successful without the support of farmers and government officials. He spent a lot of time talking to the farmers and understanding their concerns. He also worked with government officials to develop policies and programs that would support the Green Revolution. Second, he developed new crop varieties that were resistant to pests and diseases. Swaminathan understood that pests and diseases were a major challenge for Indian farmers. He developed new crop varieties that were resistant to pests and diseases. This helped to reduce crop losses and increase the yields. Third, he promoted new agricultural technologies that could help farmers to use water and fertilizer more efficiently. Swaminathan understood that water and fertilizer were scarce resources in India. He promoted new agricultural technologies in irrigation and precision agriculture, which helped farmers to use water and fertilizer more efficiently. In addition to these specific measures, Swaminathan also overcame the challenges facing the Green Revolution by being a persuasive advocate for the project. He wrote articles and gave speeches to promote the Green Revolution and to convince the farmers and government officials of its importance. Swaminathan's efforts were successful and the Green Revolution had a significant impact on India. It helped to increase food production and reduce poverty. However, the Green Revolution also had some negative consequences, such as environmental degradation and the marginalization of small and marginal farmers. The second Green Revolution in India is focused on addressing the negative consequences of the Green Revolution and creating a more sustainable and inclusive agricultural sector. Well, Swaminathan played a crucial role in initiating the second Green Revolution also. He persisted in advancing crop varieties and agricultural technologies to align with the objectives of this revolution. So what are the fundamentals of the second Green Revolution? Well, in 1989, the Planning Commission published a report called Agro-Climatic Regional Planning in India. This report divided India into 24 agro-climatic zones based on factors such as climate, soil, and topography. The agro-climatic zones are a useful tool for planning and implementing agricultural development programs. They help to ensure that the right programs are implemented in the right areas. The agroclimatic zones are also used by researchers to develop new crop varieties and agricultural technologies. By understanding the specific challenges and opportunities of each zone, researchers can develop solutions that are tailored to the needs of the farmers in that particular zone. By understanding the unique challenges and opportunities of each zone, policymakers and researchers can develop strategies that will help to achieve the goals of the second Green Revolution. The second Green Revolution also envisages horizontal and vertical linkages as a way to create a more efficient and sustainable agricultural sector. Horizontal linkages refer to the connections and collaboration between farmers and farming communities within the same agroclimatic zone. This can include sharing information and best practices, collaborating on research and development, and working together to market and sell the produce. Well, friends, the vertical linkages refer to the connections and collaboration between farmers and other actors in the agricultural supply chain, such as input suppliers, processors, and retailers. This can include working together to develop new technologies and products, improve market linkages, and reduce the waste. The second Green Revolution envisages horizontal and vertical linkages as a way to increase the productivity. Horizontal and vertical linkages can help farmers to learn from each other and adopt new technologies and practices more quickly. This can lead to increased productivity and profitability. Reduce cost. Horizontal and vertical linkages can help farmers also to reduce the cost by sharing resources and negotiating better prices for inputs and outputs. Also, it will improve market access. Horizontal and vertical linkages can help farmers to access new markets and get better prices for their produce. It will also reduce waste. Horizontal and vertical linkages can help to reduce waste by improving supply chain coordination and efficiency. Well, the second Green Revolution also envisages horizontal and vertical linkages as a way to create a more inclusive agricultural sector. It is important to note that the second Green Revolution is not just about increasing the food production, it is also about creating a more sustainable and inclusive agricultural sector. This means using fewer resources, reducing environmental impact, and improving the livelihoods of farmers. So why has the second Green Revolution not reached to the poor farmers? This is because the second Green Revolution is a complex and challenging undertaking. It will take time and effort to make it more inclusive and sustainable. However, there is a larger question of leadership and trust, like the way M.S. Swaminathan garnered when he implemented India's first Green Revolution. Swaminathan's leadership qualities were essential to the success of the Green Revolution. He inspired a generation of scientists and farmers to work towards a common goal. He also helped to build the institutional and infrastructure support needed for the Green Revolution to succeed. So, in conclusion, we can say that Swaminathan's legacy is immense. He's credited with helping to lift millions of people out of poverty and with making India a food-secure country. He's also remembered for his commitment to sustainable agriculture and for his work to improve the livelihoods of the farmers. Swaminathan's leadership qualities are an inspiration to us all. He showed us that it is possible to overcome even the most difficult challenges if we are willing to work hard, persevere, and collaborate with others. We hope you found this episode as captivating as we did in creating it for you. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. See you soon.